All right, welcome back everybody to the channel. Today we have a 2023 Ford Bronco. Let's take a look. All right, so moving on to the front end right away. Nice big and white Bronco logo there. Also nice daytime running LEDs. They might look familiar because they have the same ones on the Jeep. So, and obviously the Ford Bronco's main competition is the Jeep. So there you go. Nice fog lights, a little bit of sensors there in the front too. Really nice ground clearance that you can see there, especially for the weather that I'm currently dealing with. It's absolutely perfect. And you'll see that in the driving a little bit. So this vehicle also has a 3,500 pound towing capacity. Under the hood, you have a 2.7 liter V6 EcoBoost engine that also has a 10-speed automatic transmission, but it does come in manual. For my manual enthusiasts, you can get that there as well. If you load this car up with premium fuel, you're gonna get 330 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. However, if you just wanna put regular gas in it, well, it does make a difference. You're going to get 315 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. Not a huge difference, but it's worth mentioning. Moving right on to the side profile, you can see it's got a nice red. It looks a little bit more orange in the sun, but I really like, you can see that it has like a soft top kind of feature there too, as well as one-touch locking doors. And you also have these little codes here that you can get in and out with if you want to set a password and lock your keys in the car. There you go. Nice Outerbanks sticker there too. There's a little camera right here underneath the mirror, which helps you with the blind spot detection and also helps with the 360 monitoring system that it comes with as well. Nice massive 19-inch wheels there, really big. You can get bigger on the Sasquatch, but you actually don't need it at all. Onto the back now, where you have a massive spare tire, really nice Hummer-esque looking headlights, Ford badging. And then if we move on to the right side here, you got a Bronco badging too, really big spare tire, and you can see your brake light is here. The only issue I have with the back window is the fact that there's no rear wiper. Because this is a soft top, because this top can come right off, it's like, you know, you can see it's like a plastic almost, and it's useless. So you can't see in this weather. It's hard to see out of your rear window. Let me pop open the trunk really quick here. So at this space, you know, you're not going to hit anybody, but you can also push it, and that you might want to make sure you have room to do that in case there's somebody behind you. But enough trunk space. This part here does come off, but it actually doesn't open like it would on the soft top. There's like clips here, but the whole thing actually comes up. So you just got to keep that in mind, that you kind of have to go in through the bottom here. Let me just do a wide angle here, but it's enough trunk space. I mean, look, you have all this ceiling clearance, a whole bunch of space here. You can put those seats down and have even more space. But with that being said, let's take a look at the interior. We have this nice little step here to get right in, so let's do that. Let's hop up, because it is snowing outside and it's not fun at all. So, boom. Inside of the Ford Bronco, really, really nice steering wheel. It's huge. And I mean, you can't have a small, tiny steering wheel with this massive Ford that we got here. So I'm glad that that's there. And then you have your nice little center gauge cluster there too, which has a decent amount of information. I mean, it's not anything crazy. I'm not sure why they put the RPM thing in analog, I guess to kind of mix it up, but they could have just given us a whole entire screen there. Maybe it's to save money, but I'm not sure how much money you'd save. I feel like you could just do it all digital, but what is digital works well. It's nicely presented. I like it. You can have a bunch of different information on the right-hand side there for whatever you need. You can customize all of that, of course, which is very nice to have. So we'll take that, and it's been usable the whole week. So I actually haven't had a problem with it at all. It's just a bit weird that they did the whole half tech, half analog. But anyways, that's okay. Moving on here to the dash, I really do like this mix of like harder plastic, but it's easy to clean plastic, which is important with a vehicle like this. Like I said, the doors come off of it. The roof, you can lift the roof completely off. So you need to be able to get this thing dirty and then clean it very easily, and that's going to allow you to do this. Massive 12-inch screen here. It's really big CarPlay screen that's for some reason lagging right now. I don't know why. It hasn't been lagging for me all week, but there you go. As soon as we start filming, it starts to, the frame slow down a little bit, but it might be because I'm filming and connected to it, so that's probably what it's doing. But anyways, it's been fine, and I'm sure it will be fine after we film, so no worries. And then coming down here, you have a lot of touch buttons, not touch buttons, but physical buttons here that are, again, like, they don't get fingerprinty. It's going to be easy to clean, more easy to clean surface, so I like that. Climate control, dual zone automatic, so I like that too. Heated steering here, very nice. Heated seats, not ventilated, but I don't really care about that. Heated seats in the winter where this truck shines. Let's get that, right? And the passenger also has heated seats, and you have a bunch of HVAC controls here. It has automatic. This is your auto button right there, so all good. I like that. You have a camera button, and if I push that, you can see that it's kind of got a 360-degree camera, of course, because of crappy winter. That's what it looks like. It's not the most usable thing because the sensors get covered and the cameras get covered, and as soon as you drive about 5 kilometers, bang, you're right back to where this was, even if you clean it. So there it is. But it does have it for in the summer when you're good and you can drive properly. Well, it's there. So really good infotainment. Up here you have some controls here for your differential locks, your suspension locking, track control off, and your hazards are right here. And then all the way up where the mirror is, hello, you have these auxiliary buttons. Right now I can turn them all on, but they do absolutely nothing. So I turn them back off. But if you were to add light bars, different things, different utility things around the vehicle, well, you can flip these guys on and you'll be able to use them just like that. So Ford has kind of future-proofed the car. If you want to add different things to it and have them turned on by the auxiliary switch, you don't have to add them yourself. Ford's got you covered there, so that's nice as well. If you look up a little bit, you can see these clamps here that you can take down in order to take this big old roof off. So there's that too. Just recenter this. So moving all the way down, you have a nice Bronco logoed shifter, really big shifter. It's go big or go home with all the Ford Bronco, I don't care. And then you have some USB ports down here, a wireless charging. One thing I'll say about the wireless charging, it's good, it charges. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, right, because I film these nice videos on the iPhone, and it sometimes moves around in this area down here. Like it's not always like I go over bumps and it moves. And I have a big phone, so it's a big space, which I guess is good because it'll fit bigger phones and charge them. But it will move around a little bit, and maybe we'll stop charging. It's happened to me a few times. Nice cup holders down here. Nice little blue like grab handle, like oh crap handle. We're going over some crazy bumps for the more likely the passenger. Next to the shifter, you'll find this rotating dial here that will actually change your drive mode. So you got a normal, you have eco, sport, then you have your slippery, and then you have your mud and ruts, and then also we have sand, and you can see it'll change the 4 high to 2 high, 4 high, 4 low, and 4 automatic. And you know, you can change those on the fly. Most of them, sometimes if it's going to lock the suspension, you have to be in neutral to do it. But as you can see, it's automatically doing it. But if I'm in normal mode and I want to be in 4 high mode, well, then I can click that button and it will work the same way. And it's nice. And then all the door controls for the windows are here, and so are the mirror controls. They're also right here. A little bit of storage here too. It's deep, as you can see. It kind of goes deep in there, and it's nice and compact too. And again, this hard plastic is kind of everywhere. But again, I need to be able to clean this thing because it is going to get dirty, and that's the point. On my left-hand side, I do have another one of these blue accented grab paddles for the driver, and then you have lighting controls down here too, and you have your different, it's all lighting controls basically, and it's all analog. It's nice. It works, and that's all I care about really. And again, easy to clean material down here, easy to clean steering wheel, easy to clean seats. Nice Bronco logo there. I like that a lot. Good storage in the glove compartment, exactly what you'd expect. Also, we have this little battery logo here, but if I lift it up, you can see that there's a USB-C and USB-A there. In case you run out of space down here, well, you have up there where you can also charge something. So Ford has just thought of, this vehicle is going to be used a lot, and maybe you need like a whole bunch of USBs, and that's absolutely no problem, especially for somebody who films and uses a lot of stuff like I do. So if you take a look at the seats now, the seats are super comfortable, really nice place to spend time. The leather is nice. I like the two-tone here. I like the Ford Bronco little stitching that they have in there too. That's very nice to see. And overall, a very rugged, very, very usable interior. And it's meant to get dirty and then be cleaned up right after and look just as good on the mountains as it would in the showroom. And we like that. The only thing I would take is maybe the hard top, because this soft top does create a lot of wind noise, and you might hear that in the drive. And speaking of the driving, let's do that. Let me put that GoPro on my forehead, and let me show you how the Ford Bronco drives in sort of wintry conditions. It's snowing a little bit right now, but I'll be right back. Let me strap that GoPro on. Alright, so here we are on the road, the 2023 Ford Bronco Outerbanks, right? So, overall, the ride quality is really good. Since this is based off of an Ford Ranger platform, it's a little bit the same kind of ride quality, but I feel like Ford has improved it in terms of just the damping. So in the Ford Ranger, whenever I'd hit a pretty big bump, I'd kind of feel it throughout the whole car. Pretty much whenever you'd hit any bump in the Ford Ranger, you will feel it throughout the whole car and through your whole body. It kind of takes the vibration and goes all the way up. In the Bronco, it's not like that. When I hit a massive bump, a huge hit, yes, it still does that. It still has that Ford Ranger personality in it where it kind of shakes you up a bit. But in little bumps, in little, like, you know, easy terrain like I'm driving through now, not an issue. You know, if I hit a small pothole, whatever, I'm not going to feel it through the whole body, which is nice. And I like that. You know, it could be due that the Ranger had bigger tires and this one maybe has a little bit smaller ones, but still, I'm still quite high. The ride height is like almost the same as the Ranger. In some cases, I feel a little bit higher than the Ford Ranger in this Ford Bronco, but yeah, ride quality, very nice. I could do a road trip in this, no problem at all. It's been fun to drive so far. The leather's comfortable. I love, like I said, in the interior tour, I loved how big the steering wheel is. You just can't go small with Ford, and you just, I don't know, I feel like with the Ford Bronco, it's literally go big or go home, because, you know, even if you get the Bronco Sport, like the smallest one or the two-door one, it's still a big car. It's still got a lot of ground clearance. It's still meant for, I think, like, you can, you know, you can take all of them off-road and they'd probably all do okay. I mean, you know, the Outerbanks is meant for that. The Sasquatch versions are all meant for that too, but I'm sure you could still take the Sport off-road and you'd be fine, which is nice. You get that versatility in pretty much any trim, which, I mean, I like that. As much as it would be nice to be able to drive this thing with the, you know, the doors off, the roof off, you know, it's just like to take everything off and drive it around like a Jeep, which it is its main competitor, right? The Wrangler and other things that Jeep makes is kind of what Ford's going right after that market. And I have to say, without having driven a Jeep yet, I think that Ford has set the bar pretty high. I haven't driven a Jeep yet. I will, though. I'm pretty sure I will get the opportunity to do it this year, so I'll be able to compare them directly and then talk about it more. But having not driven the Jeep yet, Ford, you've set the bar very high with the Bronco. You know, if I was looking for an off-road utility rugged vehicle, this would be really, really high up there on the list just because of the overall quality. I mean, the package that I have in here is a little bit more expensive than I'd like. Again, Ford really does charge a lot for their cars. Lately, I mean, yeah, I haven't seen a cheap Ford, you know, or a Ford that I could say that's like reasonably priced. This one is obviously way more reasonably priced than the Ranger was, and I think that's good. That if I had the choice, I would definitely take the Bronco over the Ranger any day, despite the fact that one's a pickup and one's like a truck SUV thing. But you know what, I'll take it. So I did mention on that interior tour that, well, the Bronco has different modes, and it does have a pretty decent engine in it. So if I pop it in here, that's eco mode. If I pop it to sport mode, though, well, it's gonna make the 4x4 system turn on, and it's gonna make the ride a little bit more stiffer. Steering is a little bit more stiffer, but not too much. Steering is really good. I like the feedback I get from the steering wheel. Just because it's big doesn't mean it can't have feedback, and I like that, so absolutely no issues there. Here, I'm gonna slow down just a little bit. Again, roads aren't good. As you can see, my windscreen is getting all rained out here. It's like snowing and raining, and the winter just won't leave us alone. But I will pump my brakes here quick, and then I'll launch it. Here we go. Let's go. Full power. Whoa. Yeah. Here we go. Full power all the way to the floor. Whew. So again, like the Ranger, you kind of just, it lurches up a bit. You kind of see the ceiling for a second. But oh man, that's good torque. That's really good power from, you know, an off-road vehicle. It's like, it'll pull you through anything, right? In any terrain with that four-wheel drive system. Here, let me pop it back into my nice little comfortable eco mode here, because this car does use a lot of gas. We'll talk about that in a second. But the 4x4 system is just great, right? I mean, you can feel it just grip the road, even in the winter, even with these winter tires, even in the rain. It just, I'm not worried about traction. I'm worried about the unexpected things from other people about, you know, when I'm driving these cars performance-wise. But the Ford Bronco can get it. Like, there's no problem there. Like, you're not gonna have any problem passing slower traffic. No problems there. If you notice here, my gauge cluster changed to green because I'm now in eco mode. So there you go. Showing me that I'm trying to save gas, but I don't know if that's really happening. So who knows? So yeah, you get quite a lot of power for what it is. I mean, and for the price, I'd say the power that you get is worth it. You know, that was fun, and I would do it a lot if the gas wasn't so expensive and it didn't take gas so much. So let's talk about the fuel economy. So currently I've done 264 kilometers with the Ford Ranger. It's been a bunch of city and highway driving, no trails, no off-roading. I've pretty much been doing off-roading on the public streets because it's been snowing here, like we said, and it's been absolutely nuts. So sometimes it's full of snow, sometimes it's empty, you just never know, right? So it's been ever changing. So, you know, I could say that I've been doing a little what feels like off-roading on the public highways. So there you go. So with all that being said, with me doing all that driving, I have done 13.4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is a lot compared to what we had last week with the plug-in hybrid electric. It was like 5.5, 5.4. But again, this is a big car, big engine, big power, big wheels, heavy car, you know, American muscle, you know what I mean? So it's gonna take more gas. And I mean, for the fun I'm having in it for a week, I'll take it. Maybe for long term, it maybe uses a little bit too much gas, but again, if you're in it for the utility, if you're in it for the off-road capabilities, then you're absolutely not going to have an issue with how much the gas price costs, because you're going to get a lot of use for it. I mean, some people I know, they use Fords, all types of Fords, for their work vehicles, and this could definitely do that. It's got enough trunk space in the back, it's comfortable, it's usable, it's so easy to clean. Like, I feel like you can have a bunch of mud or whatever, you can take the doors off and just like enjoy your time. You can take this thing to the beach, you know. I can't recommend it enough for people who live in Quebec like I do, and like there's ever changing, especially like I'd say if like you have 3 months to 2 months out of the year where you have to deal with changing weather and the roads are difficult, the Ford Bronco, if you're looking at it and considering it because you live here, because you like the look of it, maybe you like the styling because it's redesigned, then you're gonna absolutely love it. The fact that, you know, you can be confident the Ford Bronco's got you. It's going to keep you safe in the winter. It's going to keep you safe if, you know, the terrain automatically changes on the roads. You can switch over to the four-wheel drive, high, low, whatever, and you can kind of get through anything. I don't think there's a lot this car can't handle, which is really good. You're just going to have to put up with the fact that it uses a little bit of gas. But for me, safety over gas, you know what? If I was in the market for a Ford Bronco, I would take that safety all day, any day. So one last thing I'll mention before I get to the final thoughts. So since we said, I don't know if you could hear it, there's a lot of road noise, and you can hear a lot of the things outside because I have a soft top here. It makes it easier to take off, maybe, but it does create a lot of road noise. I can hear things around me. I can hear people's music sometimes when I'm stopped. It is, however, warm inside the cabin, which is super important to mention. Yes, you hear the road noise. It can get a little bit annoying when you get up to high speeds, but I am warm, and that's the main thing. In the winter and in the summer, if it's too hot outside and you want to be cool, you will be cool. The insulation is very good. They've done a good job there. So, you know, I don't like the road noise, but I love the fact that you can have this soft top if you want it and still be warm, not have to worry about like rain or whatever getting in. Nothing gets in here. I've had no problems in that area. I want to make that very clear. They've done a good job. So I think that about covers everything that I wanted to cover and that I was able to test with the Ford Bronco. You know, overall, it's a really solid, big vehicle. It is just huge. It's got a big presence. As you can see here, my visibility is pretty good. I've got big windows. It's a big car. You feel like a big guy, you know, when you're driving it. And that's why I kind of, when I envision the Ford Bronco, when I look at the Ford Bronco in any trim, it is go big or go home, because there's nothing small or tiny about this vehicle. It's got a big presence on the road. It's a big to-do, big tires, and the tires can get even bigger if you want, which is funny. And just, you know, it's there for what you need it for. It's there to be used. It's there to be driven off-road. It's there to have a good time and take it to the beach, take the doors off, you know, just take your friends in it. You know, if there is an opportunity for me to drive the Ford Bronco in the summer when it's warm out, I will do it. I will absolutely, with permission from Ford, obviously, take the doors off. I'll pop the roof off too, and I'll do a POV driving of just, you know, absolutely to the wall of just clear. You know, I'll look to my side, there will be no door, and I want to experience that. I've never driven a car that does that. So, you know, if the opportunity arises, I promise you I will do it. I will bring it to you. Overall though, Ford has done a great job with the Bronco. They've redesigned an old classic, so a lot of people are interested in it. I don't know if people can get their hands on it because the shortage of vehicles is still there, even for gas powered. A little bit more for electric, but even for gas powered, it's still strong, that shortage. So hopefully, if you are interested in the Ford Bronco, you will be able to get one. I know they've done a great job with the redesign. Personally, maybe because I'm younger, you know, I'm turning 27 this year, I wouldn't have taken the old Ford Bronco model. I probably wouldn't have looked at it had they just kind of not done much in the redesign. But now I really like what they've done with the thing, you know. So it's a nice car. I think people are interested in it. I think people are going to get a lot of utility out of it. I think people are going to have a lot of fun in it. And if you're in the market, let me know in the comments. Let me know if I missed something. I know this car does have quite a good towing capacity, which we should have mentioned in the first part of the video. So go check that out if you're just looking at the POV driving and you skipped here. Go check out the first part if you want to know all the specs about the Ford Bronco, everything that it has to offer, number-wise, towing-wise, everything like that. Be all there. I don't have a chance to test towing in this capacity, in this weather, or anything. Maybe in the summer again, if I get the chance, I can maybe do a little bit of towing test for you guys if that's something you're interested in seeing. But overall, really easy to clean interior, really nice looking exterior. It gets a lot of looks on the road. There's not too many. This red color is really nice. A couple of people I've noticed or I've talked to said that they don't like the red, they don't like the way it looks. But you know what, the Outerbanks is a really good trim. It's right in the middle of like the buyable one. If you go higher, it gets really expensive. So like, this is probably the trim that I would go for if I was in the market, because it kind of does everything well. It's got the sportiness, got the off-roadness. It's not so great on the fuel, but it does everything else really well, and it's got a lot of space in it. You're not crammed. It's a really big car, right? So I'm very, very happy overall with what I've seen from the Ford Bronco, and I can't wait to see what Ford do next with it. I'm sure that they will continue to keep this vehicle out. It's not a one and done thing, that's for sure. So I'm excited for the future of the Ford Bronco. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Let me know if you're in the market or interested at all in a Ford vehicle at all. It doesn't have to be a Bronco. Or how do you think that the Bronco compares to the Ranger? Do you have a Ranger? Do you have a Bronco? Let me know in the comments, and let's have that conversation. Also, if you liked the video, if you've made it this far, you have to give me that subscribe. It's like obligatory. You don't have a choice. If you're this far in the video, you got to click the button. You got to let me know you're here so that I can keep doing these videos for you guys, because I absolutely love doing it. No matter rain or shine, I am out here doing these videos for you guys, and I absolutely enjoy it. So go ahead and subscribe. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Take care.